today we have Pauline. She's from Philippines, but now she's based in UK. It's that right? Yeah. How are you, Pauline? It's a
I'm good. Thank
yeah.
you so much for having me here today. I'm so excited to speak to you. I mean, I think we were just talking about it before we went on live, but
Yeah.
just speaking to people from like the dev community is always exciting. I love this series that you've been doing. I've been like religiously following it, waiting for like day 100. Like,
Yeah.
yes, you can do it.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm also a fan of my own series, so often I also watch them again. Oh, this is very good. Yeah, the host is not that good, but the guest is really great.
You're too hard on yourself. You're
Yeah.
really, really good. Very
Yeah,
professional. Very good.
I'm trying now to be more professional. If you heard my voice, but yeah, but usually I was not used to do that. Yeah. So Pauline, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your story? How
Yeah.
did you become a developer? I think we have many things to talk about.
Oh,
She has so many things: blog, podcast, a great Instagram account. I need to read actually. Yeah, public speaking. Yeah, it's too many things. So yeah, let's get started.
yeah,
Let's be
let's get
fast. Yeah,
started. Yeah, I mean, I'll try and be as concise as possible, but
yeah.
every time I do
Go
one of
go.
these, I'm always so excited to talk about like all these different things. But yeah, so currently I am a site reliability engineer, well, I can't actually say too much yet, but I'm hoping to move on shortly. From this role, but right now I'm a SRE and I'm really, really enjoying it. So in terms of how I got into tech, I actually didn't go through tech in a very like conventional way. So I don't have a computer science degree. I didn't do any formal qualification to be like a computer scientist or a developer or anything like that. I actually studied biomedical sciences at university, and that's the degree I have, and it's, you know, it's such a great
Uh,
degree. But yeah, I studied that, but I think my tech journey, I'm just thinking like how long do you have, but like my
yeah.
tech journey started when I was 8 years old. So when I was 8 years old, I started developing websites, and at the time I was using like those free websites builders, like Pixo and Freewebs. I don't know if anyone's like familiar with that, whoever's listening, but I started with those. And then I started like, when I was building those websites, I was like, oh, it'd be really cool to like do it myself, because they were very limited on what sort of styles you could do. So then I started learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and hobby spanned across the next couple of years, like literally my whole childhood, and then being a teenager and all of that. I was just learning how to code alongside like studying and all that. So it was just a hobby I really enjoyed. And then it got to university. Well, it got to the time I had to go to university, and my parents, because they're Asian, they were like, "We want you to become a doctor. We need to have a doctor in the family." And I was like, sort of pressured into it. So I just accepted, and unfortunately, I didn't actually pass my medical exam. And you have to do like a med test thing before you get into medical school. And I didn't get into that. So the next option was to do a biomed degree. And the plan was to do my biomed degree for 3 years and then graduate with like a first, and then go into postgraduate medicine, which is a traditional route a lot of doctors, well, some doctors go into, because most doctors go straight to medical school, but there's also that other option. So I had this whole thing planned out for me. And it wasn't until I was in my second year of my university, I was like, this is not a career I want to do. Like, I can't please other people. I can't please my parents. I need to be happy. So I decided that, okay, what other things could I do right now? So at the time, I actually came across a tech community called Code First Girls. And it's a organization that looks at improving the gender diversity in tech, and they basically educate young women to like learn how to code and to get into tech basically. And when I saw that, I was like, this is amazing, because all these years I've been coding in my room, in my dark room by myself. and there was no one else around me, and I didn't know that other people was interested in this sort of stuff. So I signed up to the course, and even though I knew the fundamentals of like web development with, you know, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, I was like, I want to be part of this community. So I threw myself in it when I was at university, and I ended up absolutely loving it. So after the course finished, I actually ended up being an ambassador for the course, and then I became a instructor. And then I started teaching these coding courses to, so every single semester I taught 2 coding courses to two classes that were around 30 participants per class, and I absolutely loved it. I went from HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to Python, and I taught that for the next like 4 years at university, and I absolutely loved it. And during that time, I was like, this could actually be a tech, like I could get myself a tech career, because I've been teaching other people how to code, and I'm starting to learn more things from other people. So I was like, I could turn my hobby into a career. So then it got fast forward to like the summer. Sorry, fast forward to
yeah. I mean, in the end, you finally realize that, oh, this could be a job.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I was just like, wait, I can enjoy what I'm doing, because I think, you know, when you're growing up, a lot of people say, oh, you just need to work and do a job. It doesn't matter if you don't like it. You just have to. It's just a job and stuff like that. And so my whole life I was like, oh, it's okay if I hate my job. Everybody hates their job, when that's not true. You know, you can find fulfillment in a role that you you know, that you find like passion and that sense of belonging. It doesn't always have to be like, I absolutely hate my job, haha, that's just life. It's not like that. So I decided like to go after it. And fast forward to my final year at university, I just looked for tech roles. I ended up I did so many jobs in my final year, and that's a whole different story. But quickly, I did a lot of like tech internships, learning how to like, I was just a developer in different teams, in different like firms across Sheffield, which is where I grew up in. And so I went across like Sheffield, did loads of different internships in different tech companies. And then I secured a remote web development position in my final year. So I did that alongside my final year at university. Then finally, trust me, I don't know how I had time.
It's impossible.
Like I had, so this is my schedule, like very quickly. I had around like, I don't know, 9 to 5, they're spread across different lectures. So maybe 4 lectures, time in the lab. And then in between those, I slot in like an hour in the library doing my freelance web development client and helping them with their website. And then whenever I had lunch, I just socialized with my friends, and then I'd go back to a lecture, go back to the lab. Then after that, I used to work at an enterprise company where it was like helping small businesses build up their ideas, and I was actually the receptionist in that thing. And so no, honestly, so then after actually 5 o'clock, when university finished, I'd go to my receptionist job. I was working from 5 to 9 p.m. and when I was sat there doing not much, I was just like doing my client work, writing my dissertation, trying to pass university. I don't know how I did it. I was just crazy, honestly.
Yeah, please, we need to know your secret, because we all need more time to do things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
I want to discover that in this episode. This is my aim, is to understand.
Yeah. Well, I think during that time, I sort of just was like, I really prioritized what I wanted to do. And I don't know, you know, now I think about it, I don't know how I did it, because nowadays it's really tough for me to balance a lot of things. But at university, I was a lot younger, and I was just like, I have so much energy to do anything. But nowadays, I do take a more mindful approach, and maybe we could talk about that a bit later. But yeah, essentially, after my final year at university, I secured my first tech role, and it was actually a tech like training program in the UK. It's called a graduate scheme. And so I graduated, moved into the company, and it was like a 2-year contract to learn more about the tech industry, to go into different teams. So I was rotated in 4 different teams where I had the opportunity to like learn about what different teams did. So I went into like a development role where I was like a front end dev, and that was more in my comfort zone. I did a business related role, which was not related to tech at all, to be honest. It was just like businessy, which I didn't really enjoy. And then the last 2 rotations I did was actually in like platform services, DevOps and cloud and, you know, stuff like that. And that's actually where I've ended up now. That's where my interest has like stayed, because like when I first started, like I said, I felt like I was more of a developer. I liked building features and stuff like that. But then I discovered AWS, I discovered Docker, I discovered like all the DevOps, all the DevOps practices. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. So that's why I'm here. Yeah.
I know the feeling.
You know, I'm sure you know, yeah.
And now I remember that you have a Docker t-shirt, and I want that.
Oh, I do. Yeah,
yeah, you needed to.
I should have won
yeah.
it.
Next time. But,
yeah.
Totally agree,
And so, and that's sort of like how I got to where I am now. And then eventually, after I finished my grad scheme, I rolled into a full-time position as an SRE, and that is that's lots and lots of fun, and I'm sure we could talk about that some more. But yeah, that's essentially how I got into tech, and I absolutely love it. It's the best decision I've ever made.
Okay, let me take a breath for now for 3 seconds. But yeah, this is, I don't know, I need to watch this again to write them down. Maybe I'll do a list later. But and one thing that I really agree with you is that we need to do something that we love to do in our life. I totally agree with this. We don't have to hate our job. Especially, maybe it depends on the person, but for example, from what I think for a person like you, I think it's too much to try to make you do something that you don't like, and you do so many things already. So I think that
I'll find something.
I think in this case you can give all yourself. You can express more power, and we will also talk about the training, and maybe you see something behind her already. And maybe she also do something in this episode. I don't know. No, to do that you need to follow her on Instagram. We'll tell this again later if you want. You should do that. So thank you so much. This is really incredible. Too many things. And what's your experience with public speaking? Because for example, usually I ask the first time, was it difficult? Was it kind of easy? What's your experience with public speaking now? And then you can also talk about your podcast later, whenever you want.
Sure. So So for like public speaking, so can I just quickly say as a disclaimer, I absolutely hated public speaking, and I know that's really surprising to people who've probably watched me speak, but I was really scared before, and I wouldn't do it. I would avoid it like the plague, like the coronavirus. I would avoid it like the coronavirus. I just wouldn't want to do it. But yeah, I think it was in 2017. That's when I did my first public speaking event. And the reason I did it actually was, like I mentioned, I was part of the tech community in Sheffield, and I was, helping these girls with their like tech careers by teaching them how to code. And then I also got involved in things in tech events like hackathons. I organized a few of them, and I was just really involved in that tech community. And then there was one meetup. It was actually a Ruby on Rails meetup in Sheffield. I don't know anything about Ruby, but they were like, oh, we need a speaker. And they said, like, one of our speakers dropped out last minute. We need someone to talk at our event, and it's really important. We have like a big audience. Can someone fill it? And then I saw it, and I was like, do you need someone to talk about Ruby? Because I don't have any technical experience on that, but I can tell you about like the communities that are coming up in Sheffield and how important it is for us to build a better tech community. And so they were like, yeah, sure, talk you know, speak at this tech event, not a non-technical talk. So I did this, and I was like shaking throughout. And there's actually a video on my YouTube channel that's because my friend recorded it when I went up, and you can tell that I'm visibly shaking and I'm actually really scared. Maybe I hide it really well, but I was like shaking when I went up there. But yeah, I just gave my first talk, and I talked about how important it is for us to build better, more inclusive tech communities, and using examples of the community that I already helped build in Sheffield. And so and they absolutely loved it. Because I posted the YouTube video online, I actually said, this is my first talk. I was really scared, but you know, like, this is probably the last time I'll do this. But then I got so many people watching the talk, and people who were actually at the event coming up to me, and they said, you're such a natural public speaker. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm like shaking, I'm sweating, I'm so scared. But then they just absolutely were like, no, you're really great at it, you should keep going. And then after that, a lot of people started sharing the video around and just talking to other people about like me and how good the talk was. And then I started getting invites like from different meetups across Sheffield, but then across the country, across the UK. And so I spent a lot of time in 2018, actually. It was the most I've ever done public speaking. I think every single month I always had one event I was speaking at. And in November of 2018, I did a talk every single week that month, and I didn't even mean to. It was just because people were asking, and I was like, sure, of course. And so I traveled all over the country. I went to like Manchester, Leeds, London, Nottingham, all over the UK just to give these talks. And every single time I did it, I felt so much better. I felt like much more confident. And so the sort of talks that I gave was around like communities. So communities is my favorite talk to give because I've got a lot of experience in like improving communities and making them more inclusive. And then the other talks I'd like to give is my tech journey, because as we already covered, it's so long that I could talk about it for ages. And so I've done like...
we need to make an episode 2 as soon as possible. We need to schedule this right now.
Yeah. And so I actually did my journey into tech talk in Nottingham. I was one of their conference speakers. It was my first conference that I did, because up until that point I only did meetups, like small meetups, but then I did a massive conference and I had the mic and everything, and I was like on stage. I was gonna, sorry for swearing, can I swear on this?
Go on, then let's see. I don't know.
I was gonna say, I'm sorry. Like, I was so scared. And then yeah, after that specific talk, a little girl came up to me, because it was actually it was open to everyone in Nottingham, and some families came, and this little girl came up to me and she said to her mom that she wanted to talk to me. And then she said to me, I really want to be like you when I grow up. I love your story. And she was like, I don't know, 8 years old, 7, and it really warmed my heart. And since then, I kept doing it. Yeah.
And you still remember this? I think the child says this to us. So yes.
Yeah, it was so sweet, because like I don't know, I think I teared up at the end, and I came with a group of friends, and I was just like, did you hear that? And they were like, yeah. That was so sweet. Yeah. But then I nowadays I just do any sort of things around tech. So I actually have an upcoming conference talk in December for SRECon in America, and that's going to be one of my first more technical talks. But yeah, other than that, I've done workshops around like building an online presence, like improving your mental health and well-being and stuff like that. I literally talk about anything. If it was up to me, I would be a full-time speaker. But
that's incredible. Yeah, that's incredible. I want just to say one thing, because I think that there is this misconception that an extrovert person can just do public speaking. I think this is so natural for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that having you here and hearing this from your voice, we can say that this is not true. usually.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah.
not strictly connected, these two things. Yeah.
No.
So
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I think anyone can do. Anyone can stand up and like share their story. It's just that first step. It's the first thing that you do that's really. It is really scary. And I wish there's like. I mean, I've got a lot of like friends who want to get into public speaking, but they're more introverted, and they keep saying I can't because I'm introverted. But just saying, and if you continue telling yourself I can't because I'm introverted because of this, that's less likely for you to go up and give your talk. And so sometimes it's just about reframing how we think things. So for me, I was really scared, and I kept saying I'm not good enough, I can't get up there and speak in front of all these people who have more experience than me, but I keep doing it anyway. And you know, the more you like tell your inner critic to shut up, the more you can get things done and stuff. So yeah, and that's essentially how I got into it, and it's the best decision I've made, I think.
yeah, I think that sometimes we worry a bit too much about that.
Yeah.
We feel the judgment. The people could not love my accent. I could not.
Yeah.
I could be stuck. But in the end, I think that if we were watching something, it would be totally fine. Is that people is not super confident. We are not all stars. We are not all actors. So
Yeah.
I think it's totally fine. Sometimes it can be also, I think, I don't know, fun in some ways to see someone.
Yes.
To talk for the first time. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
root for them so much because I'll feel them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for example, I can tell my little story that I did my first public speech, I think 1 month ago. Today is 17. Yeah, so is exactly is 18. Is exactly 1 month ago. And then I started making these kind of interviews. If I'd never done that public speech on Docker, I'd never start to do this kind of video calls. So this should not exist if I'd never decided to just jump in and just do that. So, yeah, so this is happening because I've decided to do that. I know that in the beginning it's very hard. I think it's harder for both extrovert and introvert. It's not about that.
Oh, for sure.
But I think that you should just say that the first time will always be in a little bit strange. I think the first time,
It's that comfort zone, isn't it? Like people feel more comfortable sitting down and watching, and no one ever wants to stand up and be like, "Listen to me." But like you said, you just need to sort of throw yourself out there because you never know what comes out of it. And like for you went and did that talk, and now you have this amazing series.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm so glad.
Yeah, and I too, I can also watch it. So I'm so happy about that.
You can have it two ways, exactly.
Yeah, I'm serious. I for sure I watch and I like this episode for sure. And I'm also commenting episode. Yeah. So
yeah, totally.
Yeah, and now let me tell you a secret. There is only one podcast that I listen to in my life, and she's from Pauline. So we can we talk about that a little bit because I really. I think that being a public speaker, a content creator, it's hard to watch the other content of others. Sometimes I feel a little bit guilty because I have so many friends now. Yeah. It's hard to keep it up. I think that I need to listen to 2 or 3 episodes now. I listen to I think 2 or 3. But sometimes it's very hard. So thanks also for remembering that this exists because I need to recap. But can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. So like I started my podcast in August 2020 this year, and I sort of started it because I actually already have an existing blog, and my blog Pauline.com, very creative name. My blog has been something that I've been consistently been writing on, and it's not like a technical blog or anything. It's mostly like I don't like putting it in a specific group, but it's basically an everything blog. And I think my podcast is also an everything podcast because I just talk about anything that really interests me, that I think like it. Well, the topics that I pick are normally things that I want to highlight the topic a bit more, want to highlight the issue a bit more, want to talk about it, and so yeah, it started from my blog, and then I love writing these blog posts and improving my written communication skills. But I really wanted to improve on how I speak. I really wanted to improve on communicating in an audio sort of format. And I've tried YouTube before, but I feel like YouTube is one of those things that has a lot of effort to like make all the edits. I'm sure you know that, like there's all sorts of stuff that you need to do for it. So I was like, okay. I was like, I'm going to try a podcast because it's just recording myself. I don't have to set up a whole thing in my flat and set up the cameras and stuff. I just need to talk to this microphone. So I set it up, and yeah, like I said, my podcast is essentially about anything that I think we need to talk more about. So I've talked things around like breakups, because I think that's an important topic that a lot of people that I know are going through right now. So it's mostly like, now I think about it, my podcast episodes are always things that people have asked me for advice on. So it's like whenever someone's like, I'm going through a tough breakup, do you recommend anything? I'd be like, actually, you should listen to my podcast, because I did an episode about breakups. And like, honestly, I've done it a couple of times and they've listened to it and they've been like, this actually made me feel a lot better. So that's what I've been doing recently. And so yeah, like I said, I've done episodes on breakups, my health and wellness journey, because that's a question I get asked about a lot. And I'm sure we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I want a little preview later.
Absolutely. The thing is, if I go live and start lifting my barbells, I'll end up like dropping them or something on this video call. It'd be absolutely embarrassing. But yeah, so health and wellness. What else do I talk about? Just like being a creator, what it's like to be a creator. And I've actually had a few guests on my podcast recently, but I'm trying to keep it to a small circle. So I don't want to like jump on a call and like have a conversation. It's mostly like people I know in my life. So I've got like my partner Matt, I've had my brother Clark, where we've just talked about like different topics really. And so an episode that I actually launched recently was about periods. And it's really awkward, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, why are you talking about such a taboo subject? But as someone who is I want to use my voice to normalize a lot of things, and like one of the things that I like normalizing is female health. And so that's why I want to talk about it a bit more, and I've been using my podcast for that. And so far it was the scariest podcast episode I've ever posted, but I've got a lot of like good feedback from both men and women, so that's always really good. So yeah, and that's how I started my podcast. And honestly, there's not much else to it apart from the fact that I could talk for 2 hours straight about things.
Go for that. Yeah, I cannot believe. Bye. Yeah,
I could talk for ages, and it's been a fun project, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, but I think that what we are doing is just to help others, so in any ways. So even if maybe as you said, you feel a little bit awkward, but I think that if we do something to help others, it's easier to do. I think so.
For sure.
Yeah, even this course, maybe I could look a little bit more natural now, but in the beginning I was really scared. I got a lot of anxiety, but I know that I knew that by doing this, maybe we can help maybe new developers, people who struggle, people who are lost. They don't know what to do. Maybe you can help them. So this is also one of the aims. So
of course, to inspire, to help others. I mean, like, just being very open about my journey into tech, for example. I actually haven't got an episode about my journey into tech yet on the podcast, but I've got that lined up. Prepare for that. But like, the times I've done public speaking about my journey into tech, there's always been one person, at least in the room, who has said, thank you for sharing your story, because now I know that there is an opportunity for me to go into tech. It's not, I don't need a computer science degree. I don't need this. I don't need that. I can literally just, get into it by focusing on learning concepts, like learning new coding languages, and just trying to keep up with the trends and stuff. And so yeah, and it's been beneficial. Like, I think that's why a lot of content creators create to begin with, because it's to help other people. One of my friends who I spoke to recently actually said something like, she's a content creator as well, and she said something like, you create content that you want to consume yourself. So whenever you create content, you need to make sure that what you put out there is valuable for somebody. And so that's something that stuck with me, because like all of the things that I've talked about in my podcast, I know that the topics I spoke about it's going to help someone, no matter what topic it's about. It could be about like periods, it could be about health and wellness. And after they listen to it, they're like, okay, that's inspired me to make a change. And yeah, at the end of the day, it is all about helping other people. And it's great that you're using your platform to do that. And by having this show like right now, it's fantastic that you're opening the doors for other people, and that's fantastic. So
thank you so much. This was really unexpected, but yeah, because sometimes, and also what I'm doing now is not that hard, complicated idea, something strange, super editing. I still did this ugly black lines on the bottom and on the top. I working on that, but it's not about that. It's not about the perfect audio, the perfect editing. No. It's about the content, the people. I really want to show that the people, they are really the center of each community.
You do it well.
Also the dev community, because sometimes people they tend to look at developers like if we were like bots.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Saying like this, encoding like this, like hunchbacks. But in your case, there is no chance to watch you in that way. But sometimes people tend to stereotype the developers in that way.
Of course.
I really want to destroy this stereotype with inviting all people from all the countries. So this is also one of the aims. So yeah.
And you're doing it really well. There's been a diversity of guests as well, and I've tuned in. I've loved it. So
thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much for being here, because it's really great. Yeah. So now if you have just 5 minutes or 10 minutes,
of course,
what do you want?
It'll be 30 minutes.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about your fitness? We can talk about fitness. I already see your eyes that are just blinking now. But and also, because I also watched your previous pictures of the past years, and from now, congratulations on that. I've been a volleyball trainer for 20 years. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This is why I like training so much. I also comment to you sometimes.
Yeah.
So this is a topic that really touched me, because I've been like that for very many years. Mm-hmm. Then one day I switched to coding and developing, but my background is the sports background, so this is why I'm so interested into that topic. I like I love to walk and run every day. Also do exercise. So how doing exercise can affect, for example, also being a developer? Because I still remember this thing. Like months ago, I did a poll saying how many times you exercise during the week. And I got like 50% of people saying 0. And I was shocked, because so please, we need to do something about that. Help me to make them move. So can you tell us your experience with that?
Of course, yeah. So like I said, like I could talk about this forever, and I have a full-on just going like I'll just be talking to myself. I actually have a full-on podcast episode about this if you want to listen to it, but I'll keep it brief. But basically, I started my wellness and fitness journey in 2016, when I actually hit a very dark point in my life. So I was suffering from really horrible anxiety, generalized anxiety, and depression at the time. There was a lot of things going on in my life that was really stressing me out, and I was in my darkest moments. Like it was really, really tough. But at the time, I went to doctors who prescribed me like antidepressants, and I had them, and they made me feel worse. They didn't help me at all. And so around that time, I sort of was like, okay, let's start from the beginning, because as someone who has a biomed degree, I know like it's not always a medicine. It's not always like a pill that you prescribe to someone to help them feel better. So because of that, I got into like health and wellness and exercise. And that's how I ended up exercising. Like nowadays, like I exercise 5 times a week. And I've been exercising literally, it's probably the most consistent thing I've been doing over the last like few years, since 2016. So I just decided to make that massive like lifestyle change for myself. And when I actually joined the working world and became like a full-time engineer working in tech, I realized that, you know, because I worked in an office, I realized all the developers around me were literally hunched back on the desk like this, like typing away. And you know, when I first started working, I actually noticed I was doing the same, because I would focus on like writing my piece of code, or I'd focus on this meeting, and so I would literally be like that, like hunching back. And you know, like I think it was when my first year of working, my back started to hurt, and I've never had back pains before. And I remember thinking, why am I getting this right now? It's horrible for me. And it was around that time that I did exercise every morning, but I spent the rest of my day literally sitting down at my desk without moving. And so because of that, and because of all the pains I started to feel, and also my experience with like anxiety and stuff, exercise was the only thing that really kept me grounded and kept me sane. And so I now make it like a mission to continue sharing with my audience on Instagram specifically, about all of the like fitness and health stuff that I do, to like sort of inspire people to move. And I didn't actually think people would like send me pictures and tell me, look, I'm exercising today, but they do. And you know, every morning when I post like, so this is my home gym. This is my home gym right here. Because
I know that gym. Yeah.
Yeah, you're familiar with this. If you follow me on Instagram, this is my gym. But since lockdown, I decided to like have like a small gym in my small apartment, which I have right now. And so every time I post a photo here, or like exercise here, and I show it on Instagram, people from all different backgrounds, who are developers, who are in different areas of the careers, they're always like, wow, I'm gonna keep myself fit because I can see that it benefits you, and I can see that you're always happy, you're always smiling, even though that's not true. But you know, I feel very energized, and I feel like I can focus more at work. And so like, I think my main take home advice for those who want to get started with exercise, it's firstly like, this is a true fact, and the fact is that everyone is sitting too much, and sitting down too much is going to kill you, and it will shorten your lifespan. It will cause all sorts of complications with like different health problems, and like diabetes, or you know, cardiovascular diseases as well. And if you want to prevent that, if you want to really live your, you know, your most fulfilled, most like healthy and sustainable life, you need to make sure that you take care of yourself. Because like, you can get involved in so many different projects in tech, in the open source community, in like, you know, like on Git, or like all sorts of exciting projects wherever you work. But at the end of the day, the most important project is yourself, because there's no use for you to, you know, be working super hard at your desk coding away, when, you know, like slowly you're endangering yourself, you know. So my main take home message, and my main advice for people who want to get started, is just to block out like like at least an hour, a day
Yeah.
to, stand up, go for a walk, or like exercise, like do weights, like weightlifting is my favorite, and like stuff like that. But you can do literally anything, just stand up and, stretch. It's really, really important, because we aren't, as humans, built to be sat at a desk for like 12 hours a day. That's just unnatural. So make sure that you like spend some time throughout the day just standing up, stretching your legs, and then you can sit back down. But make sure that you do that, because like I think in the next few years you will definitely start to feel it. And like I feel grateful, and I feel like lucky that I sort of realized it now, because I am 24 years old, and I just feel like, long term, I've really invested in something for myself. And yeah, like I said, you are your most important project, so you need to make sure that you focus on yourself. And that's the only way you can be the best version of yourself, to be honest, by focusing on yourself first before all of the awesome like projects and stuff that you get involved in. So yeah, I hope that made sense. That was as concise as I could make it.
Yeah, that was really perfect. First of all, before I forget about this, I'm so proud of you, because maybe sometimes also me on Twitter, people say, "Oh, you are so positive. You always smile and shine." But maybe it's not. It was not like that for all our lives. So I understand you perfectly. I'm proud of you. And yeah, really, really, really. Sometimes one of the things that I really don't like, when people say, "Oh, but I don't have time to do exercise. I need to fix that bug. I need to do that, to implement that feature. Yeah, I need to do this today, because this is the day I know, I feel that if I save that hour of just wasting time, like running and walking, just a waste of time, I'll fix that." And then you'll pass 1 hour just staring at your screen. I'm sure about that.
So true. Yeah.
Instead, I always say that at least if you exercise, even if you don't fix your bags, at least you have done something. At the end of the day, you can sleep, you can be happy. Because it's not sure that you can fix your bag, but if you exercise, you get something for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever you exercise, you don't waste time. That hour, or even 15 minutes, or even like a minute of doing a bit of exercise goes a long way. Whereas, like you said, when you're trying to fix a bug and you're staring at the screen for an hour. And also, sometimes the best debugging thing that you can do for yourself is go for a walk. And that's essentially like, sometimes when I'm so frustrated with my code, I literally go out, go for a walk, and then I'm like, wait a second, I know it this time, and then I can fix it.
Yeah, and I can figure you running back home. Yeah.
I know how to fix it now.
Yeah, and for example, also in my case, I usually go walking or running in the very early morning, like in 6 a.m., 6 a.m. And sometimes I also think about, I don't know, some strange ideas. Also, this kind of interviews, they have been. I thought about that during my morning walks. So when the world is quiet, you can also see the sunshine. You are in the perfect mindset also to have some great ideas. Instead, if you just wake up, take a coffee, and just start coding like that, after months, it starts to get, I don't know, a little bit boring, I think. Yes,
it does. Yeah. I can't agree enough. I think my best ideas have been when I'm on this bar and I'm pulling myself up. Or when I'm exercising. Honestly, I'm just like, wait a second, I have such a good idea. It's so true.
The time passes so slow when you are in that position, I think. you can think so fast.
That's so true. Totally.
Yeah, and I really want to the developers who also do a lot of fitness exercise. I want all of them here in this series, and I really wanted you to be here. Yeah, especially you sometimes, because I really want to break this stereotype of developers just sitting and coding. I'm a bit tired to hear that. So
Yeah.
we need to break that. You need to break that together.
Yes,
So
I'm
thank you.
doing the best as I can. Yes.
Thank you, because if I only say this because no, it's only you, but I need more people like you
Yeah.
saying this, helping me to tell
Yeah.
this to them. So
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, this has been really great. And which other socials do you use? Please
Yeah.
follow her on Instagram. But which other socials do you use?
Yeah, so I'm literally, if you type my name anywhere, you'll probably find me. But I am mostly on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. I have quite a big LinkedIn presence actually. So I love speaking to people about their career development if anyone wants to talk. But also I have a blog, Pauline.com, and I also have my main portfolio website, paulinenavas.com, if you want to learn more about me, and you can find all my socials on there. I also have GitHub. I'm on everything.
Yeah, basically everything. I don't. Yeah, and I think almost 1 hour passed, and she's not about to tell us her secret. So I want to know that. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe you don't sleep. I don't know. But sometimes.
No, I swear, I sleep 8 hours a day, and that's my top priority, because otherwise, if I don't sleep, I can't lift. So.
So I think in your case, your time management is really wonderful. So you manage to do a lot of things. So maybe you switch, and I think at the end of the day, you can really be proud of yourself when you find.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think if I was gonna say what my secret was, my secret would have to be exercise. So
I knew
think about that.
For example, when I start, because I like to, for example, to do a lot of work and running. For example, I stopped for like 1 week or maybe 3 days when I started making these kind of interviews, because I did like a lot of days. And to save some time, and then I started to lose time. I needed more time to get back to that. So definitely this is also my what also happened to me like this month. I know that we're not wasting time. We are saving time. So thank you. I don't know if we can manage to do her some exercise today, but okay, so we need to follow her to do for that.
Yes, find me on Instagram. I show off my deadlifts and my pull-ups most of the days to improve your own pull-ups and deadlifts. So.
So thank you so much. Really happy to have you here. So best of luck for everything. Do you have any plans for the future? Do you plan the future? Then we can.
Oh God, I can go off, but basically I just want to, in my tech career, I want to continue learning and becoming as technical as possible. And hopefully one of my dreams is to become a technical leader somewhere. And in terms of like things in the short term, I hope that this coronavirus goes away ASAP so I can go back and travel. So that's essentially it, really. And to always just use my platform for good and to spread positive messages. So yeah.
That was really, really perfect. So
thank you.
So thank you. We need to schedule like 2 or 3 more episodes.
Maybe 10 more. I think
that would. We'll need a separate playlist like Pauline podcast. We need that. But for now, this is just episode 1. So for now, it's enough. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for what you said. And you are really not that stereotype of developer. So I really this is a compliment. So thank you for everything. And best luck for everything.